Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Green Door Life. My name is Shannon Morse, and I am here with I don't even know how to describe her exactly, my lovely, wonderful, incredible, authentic, inspiring friend, Rachel Strickland. And one of the reasons that we are doing this interview is to give you a taste of who Rachel is as we move into this event of Chrysalis. And when I first invited Rachel to do this, and she said, well, what do you want me to talk about? And I said, well, I see one of your superpowers is that you give others the space to be whoever the hell they want to be. And in this time right now, I think that is pretty freaking valuable. So hello, Rachel. Welcome.
Hello, darling. It's so good to see you.
So good to see you too. So would you mind elaborating on who you are and what you do right now with the people who are so fortunate to work with you?
You're very kind. Thank you for your introduction. I operate as a creative mentor, and I work primarily with freelance artists. And the bulk of who I have worked with in the past have been performing artists, specifically circus artists. But any kind of freelancer, I just can't get enough of them, because the thing that I like to do is to ask people what it is that they want and then find a map for them to get there. So putting people into alignment with themselves and then giving them a reference to take action to that end is my favorite thing to do.
So as we're moving through this time of practicing shelter in place, and you're currently working with a group right now, one of your cohorts, what have you seen that is showing up that might be either similar or different from what people experience when they're not practicing shelter in place, like when they are looking at what it is they actually want and who they want to be?
Right. So as soon as all this hullabaloo began, I was just finishing up cycle 15 of the Audacity project, and I have 15 amazing individuals, and they had just passed to the point in the course in which they're required to begin reaching out to people that are gatekeepers for the opportunities that they want to pursue. Suddenly, that is no longer the case, and sometimes it's not even in good taste to do such a thing. Like, hi, don't you want to hire me since your business is going under? So we've had to spend some time thinking about what can be done now, because sometimes it's best to wait. You don't want to introduce yourself to someone and try to form a relationship necessarily if that person is experiencing trauma. It's not effective or kind in all cases. So what I have decided to direct them towards was, I always want them to think about their world in a global perspective, an international perspective, not what can you do in your hometown or this city, or even your country, but what would you like to do worldwide, to kind of take the lid off of those possibilities. And I still want them to be thinking that way, but to be acting in a more localized way, because it's the local communities that need that input right now, and that it has to begin in the center and to work its way out. So that did change with the advent of pandemia.
That is a huge shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just noticing, yes, the lovely cup. As I went through the beginning of your program, which I'm sure it's changed and evolved also, because that was like 3 or so years ago. I don't believe that I got to that place, because it wasn't where my path was in the moment. But I can only imagine that bringing and building up to that place in the program, and then having to shift so completely to how does it now apply to doing something globally within that same thread, is confronting, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that it was. And I think it was also a bit of a relief, as it has been for many of us closet introverts. And so the Audacity project is so full of things to do, and it's only 8 weeks long. So I did get quite a few emails of, I'm secretly loving the fact that I have a lot more time to complete these tasks than I had before. And also just to get a little bit of a reprieve if you don't feel that you have all your ducks in a row, which I never encourage people to wait until things are perfect, because that's a whole nother ball of wax. But, to be prepared for the conversation and to be able to answer the questions that are going to come up for them when they do make these reach outs and these solicitations. So yeah, maybe a bit of a reprieve there.
Absolutely. So do you, inside your practice right now, feel like you are able to see any trends of how people are just moving through like their own emotions with the shelter in place? And I mean, you kind of just pointed to one, which was some people are actually enjoying it. Mm-hmm. Some people are just kind of like going, oh, this is an opportunity that I get to have more time to focus on the things that I've been meaning to put more time into anyways. Mm-hmm. But in terms of any sort of emotional, like anxiety as it comes up, uncertainty as it comes up, what have you noticed? And then what are you kind of harnessing as tools, if any, to give to your group?
Well, I think something that we all observed was the influx of productivity porn that kind of flooded us. And it's an extremely human reaction. Like, you have time, you're sitting at home alone. What things can you accomplish? And what grants can you apply to? And what hobbies can you pursue? And that's valid. But it's also it's collectively traumatic experience with a lot of uncertainty. So I found that in the beginning, and I include myself in this, there was kind of an onrush of like, I'm going to do the things, and then followed by, I want to lie down and weep quietly, and knowing that that is okay, and that it's not necessarily effective to try to fill every silent moment with something that is going to benefit you later. Like, sometimes it's just letting the moment be what it is. And then there was a collective wave of recognizing that that was true and valid, and that maybe we could just sit for a moment. So there has been definitely waves, and more or less they've been collective.
I love hearing from you and all of these different networks of practitioners, because although I think like there's one collective wave, I also can see and hear threads of different waves in each, like each culture, but culture in terms of like artists, people who are working in tech and are, high performers. It feels like they're all going through their own collective wave inside of the larger collective wave, which is quite interesting. Some of the more tech-directed professionals actually almost had an opposite wave, where they started with just kind of going like, oh, I'm going to take some time. This is going to be awesome. I get to read, get to not travel, like, yay. And then after a month goes by, they're like, oh, actually, now I'd like to be more productive. Now I'd like to have a schedule. Now I'd like to do this. So it's so interesting to hear kind of the evolution, regardless of what the starting point is, inside of that larger experience, which I think is really why I'm excited to have all of these unique and different viewpoints that can then be a support for the people who come to this experience. and pick and choose whatever they resonate with, you know, because everyone's going to be slightly different, and that's totally valid and okay.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing some perspectives completely different from mine. Because I'm talking all day.
Oh, you're going to get that. You're going to get that. So what have you experienced for yourself in this time? Both things that you find have maybe been helpful for you, and then things that maybe haven't been helpful and there isn't an answer for it yet.
So the first thing I had to do was cancel a video shoot, which was much anticipated for my latest artistic project. And that was a huge bummer. And of course, I waited till the 18th hour because I was like, maybe it'll be fine. Wasn't fine. Needed to cancel it, so I did. And I had been training 5 or 6 days a week for that project. So the first thing I did was take a big old rest week. And I didn't do anything because I have excellent teachers. And Dr. Jen Crane said to me, Rachel, a rest week means you're not doing anything. And that includes running. So I have learned how to rest, and I took advantage of that knowledge. And I practiced it. And that was beneficial for me, as well as having my rituals in place. I am a creature of habit and ritual, and mornings are my favorite time. I'm one of those weirdos. My mornings have not changed. They're exactly the same, and it is greatly comforting to me. Yeah.
What does your morning ritual consist of? I feel like I got to live it side by side with you for a short window in time, but
yeah, you've been there for several of them, for several mornings. So I'm so glad that you asked. The first thing that I do is get one of these and put coffee in it. And I go outside because it is 70 degrees in the morning here now, score, and I write my morning pages. And for anyone who's not familiar, morning pages is coined by Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way. It's like a 12-week artistic recovery program, super well-known and respected in creative circles. And basically it's journaling. You wake up and you journal. She calls it morning pages because she likes it done first thing in the morning, which just happens to work for me. I have a lot of night owls in my program, and most of my friends are nocturnal people. So I also just like to call them pages or artist pages, because some people are never going to get up and write pages, and that's fine. But I have to. In fact, for me not to do it now would be a deeply uncomfortable and unpleasant experience.
okay, so I love that, and I've heard you talk about them before. What do you feel like that provides for you to do that?
What the morning pages do is it gives you a relationship with your mind outside of going through tasks or responding to outside stimulus. It is similar to the benefits that you can get from meditation. I think meditation is great for whoever's doing it. It does not really work for me as a person, and I'll keep trying. I'm going to keep giving it the old college try, but I do want a relationship with my mind outside of responding to an outside stimulus. And this is the way for me to get in touch with myself first thing, before no emails, no phone, no nothing. And good Lord, no one talked to me before I have written these pages. And it gives me a chance to clear up my mind, write down any dreams that I can remember, think about what I want to do that day, observe the squirrel that's running across the yard. Just nonsense. It's not good writing. It's just a brain dump.
I love it. I've been doing that myself for a little bit, with a bit of a more detailed structure, because, you know, that's me. But I've been calling it brain showers because it just feels like you just get to wash everything off through.
Such a nicer term than brain dump.
I mean,
of course, you would come up with that beautiful term. The brain shower. Like, yes, that's better.
Yeah, now that I put it next to brain dump, it sounds a little different. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, so
anyway, so your brain showers,
both are necessary.
You have like prompts for them?
I do. Brain showers, I have melded a couple of modalities over a period of time. I think I got one of these prompts from Lisa, which is writing down on one side of the page, 2 columns, things I get to do today, things the universe will take care of. And that's been lovely because the things I get to do are choices, and they could be anything from training, groceries, calling somebody, meeting. And then in the universe side, it's all of those things that I ultimately have no control over aside from manifesting them. So it could be like moving to a new location and intending a certain feeling for the location. That would be in the universe side. So I just kind of release it to the universe and go, this is what we're looking at. And then you can figure it out from here. And then now it doesn't have to occupy, it doesn't have real estate in my brain anymore.
Yeah, that's expensive real estate.
It's expensive real estate. And then there's the brain shower page on the second one. I get all the messy stuff or, you know, the to-dos out of the way, and then I let everything else flow. Yeah, and that's been nice.
Okay.
But I will remember that there might be now a difference between brain dumps and brain showers. We'll see.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Oh, so good. Okay, so I love this conversation so far because for those of you who are watching, Rachel and I have been intertwined in different ways. Love her dearly. And I'm really excited for whoever is going to have the choice and choose to be within this event. Whoever gets to experience what Rachel has to offer, it's very unique, and it's not replicated or duplicated, and so it's very special. And I'm excited to be able to provide the space for that and for people to experience it, however it shows up, because it's going to be completely different than what you expect.
Yeah, I'm counting on that, and thank you for the avenue and for making it so easy. By the way, it was a no-brainer.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just, you know, bring together a bunch of amazing humans and hold the space for others to experience all of it, and then let's have a great weekend.
I know. What's not to like?
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, my dear.
It's a pleasure, darling.
Yes, and thank you for those who are watching. We hope to see you on April 25th and 26th. And signing off here, Shannon Morse and Rachel Strickland, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.